Hey folks, how's it going? I'm ObscureNameDigit. Hope you're all well today. We have a review of Sally's Law. Let's roll up Sally's Gap. So Reggie wrote this review, and although he never really shows his sensitive, loving side, just the passion and drive he has for writing for you lovely readers and listeners, Reggie actually has two kids, a 2-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. These, along with his wife, are pretty much everything to him. Outside of their well-being, nothing else matters. Makes sense, doesn't it? But what if Reggie got a big writing gig and had to move away, or took on a high-paid job that demanded 24-hour attention? Well, this is the crux of Sally's Law. Right, you're probably wondering now, what is the actual gameplay like? Well, it's a fresh-faced puzzler with an amazing story spread over 5 chapters, with over 5 levels in each. The characters in the game are naturally Mum, Dad, and Sally. One of Sally's parents passes away, which causes difficulties and distance within the household. This leads to Sally going to the big city to live out her dreams. However, the story doesn't really start until she has to make the journey back home. The rest of the story is out of bounds in this review, as it's too touching to spoil. I love you all too much to do that. This moving story is dished out via a Japanese narrator with English text plastered to the background of the levels you play through, which beautifully adds to the game's metaphorical meaning. There are 2 ways to play, either single player or co-op. So in single player, it requires you to play through the same level twice, once as Sally, whom auto-rolls and requires the player only to jump, and the parent who has directional control but no jump ability. So the idea is that Sally traverses the level and the parents remove the obstacles in the way to protect her. Aww, heartstring successfully pulled. Co-op mode. That's actually a single playthrough, one player being Sally and the other being the parent, working together to complete levels. Also, one little change, Sally has directional control throughout. All this is presented in a cute, clear and crisp rustic art style, which reminds me of a children's book. The simplicity of the gameplay suits the art style. The soundtrack is a minimalist classical piano piece on loop throughout the levels, with voice actors recorded bump and fall reactions playing on cue. Again, the soundtrack just adds to the ambience and the feel of Sally's Law. Although the game is quite short, it's a very engrossing title and it goes by fast due to how laid back it is and the learning curve being quite flat. While I think that bloating the story any more than necessary would ruin it, some challenge levels for co-op would have been a brilliant addition. Right, so all that said, we've got ourselves a verdict. Sally's Law has hit us deep in the feels. Those of you with kids will have a personal dimension of understanding when it comes to the story, and for those who don't relate so closely to the story, it's a solid puzzler. Although quite easy at times, overcomplicating the challenges would ruin the feel of this elegantly paced puzzle platformer. Although $9.99 is quite steep for such a short game, it's still worth checking out. Sally's Law is available on PC and Nintendo Switch, which is what it's been reviewed on. The developer is Nanali Studios. It's Peggy 3. Thanks very much for watching, folks. If you like what you see, please do hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing for more daily game and tech reviews, with a healthy dose of live streaming. If you dislike what you saw, feel free to hit the thumbs down and maybe let us know what's up in the comment section below. I'm ObscureNameDigit, and I'll see you around.